Hello everyone. So, in last few lectures of this module, we have solved some exact solutions of Navier-Stokes equations. You know the assumptions and how to write the ordinary differential equation from the partial differential equations, and invoking the boundary conditions, how you can derive the velocity distribution and the volumetric flow rate. So, today we will solve some example problems from the knowledge of whatever you have already carried out in this lecture. Okay. So, let us take the first problem. Two viscous, incompressible, immiscible fluids of different viscosity and density flow in separate layers between two infinite parallel plates. The flow is driven by a constant favorable pressure gradient. Derive the expressions for the velocity profiles in the two layers and find the volume flow rate per unit width. This is the problem. So, we have two parallel plates, stationary parallel plates where you have velocities 0 and two layers, one is fluid A whose viscosity is mu A and fluid B whose viscosity is mu B. For convenience, we have taken the axis from this interface of these two layers. So, y is measured from this interface and x is the axial direction, and these are the height of these layers H A and H B. So, you can see this is the similar problem which we have already solved in two layers Couette flow, but in this particular case top boundary is stationary, okay, velocity is 0, and we have taken the axis in the interface of these two layers. So, we will start from the ordinary differential equation. For this particular case, you know what is the ordinary differential equation. Obviously, it is a pressure driven flow. So, you can write the ordinary differential equation neglecting the gravity as d2u by dy square is equal to 1 by mu del p by del x. Del p by del x is constant, right. So, for this fluid A layer, you can write the velocity distribution, which is actually y in between minus h to 0. So, this you can write as d2 u A by dy square is equal to 1 by mu A del p by del x. So, it is for the layer of fluid A, okay, and if you integrate twice, then you will get du A by dy is equal to 1 by mu A del p by del x y plus integration constant C1 A, and u A is equal to 1 by twice mu A del p by del x y square plus C1 A y plus C2 A. Okay. So, we have the boundary conditions at y is equal to minus h A, u is equal to 0. So, at y is equal to minus h A, u A is equal to 0. So, you can see if you put it here, you will get 0 is equal to 1 by twice mu A del p by del x h A square and minus C1 A H A plus C2 A. Okay. So, you can express C2 A in terms of constant C1 A as C1 A H A minus H A square by twice mu A del p by del x. Okay. So, now if you put it in this expression of this velocity distribution in the fluid A domain, so you can write u A is equal to 1 by twice mu A minus del p by del x H A square minus y square plus C1 A y plus H A. Okay. Now, similarly, let us find the velocity distribution in layer fluid B. So, in the range of y 0 to H b, we have the equation d2 u b by dy square is equal to 1 by mu b del p by del x. Okay. So, integrating twice, you will get d u b by dy square is equal to 1 by mu b del p by del x y plus c 1 b, and u b is equal to 1 by twice mu b del p by del x y square plus c 1 b y plus c 2 b. Again we have the boundary condition at y is equal to h b, u b is equal to 0. Okay. So, from this expression you can write c 2 b as minus c 1 b h b plus h b square divided by twice mu b del p by del x. Okay. And if you put this expression in this velocity distribution, then you can write u b is equal to 1 by twice mu b minus del p by del x h b square minus y square plus c 1 b y minus h b. Now, we need two boundary conditions. Okay. For this we will use the interface conditions. So, at interface you know that velocity is continuous as well as shear stress is continuous. So, from these two conditions we will be able to find these two constants. So, at interface of two layers, okay, velocity is continuous. And shear stress is also continuous. Okay. So, if velocity is continuous, then we can write so this is at y is equal to 0, right, at the interface means at y is equal to 0. So, we can write u a at y is equal to 0 is equal to u b at y is equal to 0. So, if you put at y is equal to 0, then you can see only you will get C 2 a and C 2 b. So, you can write C 2 a is equal to C 2 b. Okay. And if shear stress is continuous, then you can write tau a at y is equal to 0 is equal to tau b at y is equal to 0. So, you can write mu a du by dy at y is equal to 0 is equal to mu b du b by dy at y is equal to 0. So, from this expression you can see at y is equal to 0 du by dy not y square. So, du b by dy will be c 1 b, similarly du a by dy will be c 1 a. So, you can write mu a c 1 a is equal to mu b c 1 b. So, we have already this expression C 2 a and C 2 b. So, you can see this is the expression of C 2 a, okay, and C 2 b we have this. So, you can equate it here. So, you can write C 1 a h a minus h a square by twice mu a del p by del x is equal to minus C 1 b h b minus h b square divided by twice mu b del p by del x. Okay. So, now you can see this we can take in the left hand side and we can write C 1 b is equal to mu a by mu b into C 1 a. So, we are taking this in the left hand side and putting the value of C 1 b in terms of C 1 a, you can write C 1 a is equal to h a plus mu a by mu b h b is equal to half del p by del x. So, this term we are taking in the right hand side and after rearranging you will get this h a square by mu a minus h b square by mu b. Okay. From here C 1 a you can write as half del p by del x, okay. And after rearranging you can write it as mu b h a square minus mu a h b square divided by mu b h a plus mu a h b into mu a. Okay. Similarly, you can see from this expression you can write the C 1 b, because C 1 b is equal to mu a by mu b into C 1 a. Okay. So, you can write half del p by del x mu b h a square minus mu a h b square divided by mu b h a plus mu a h b into mu b. Okay. So, now we have these two constants C 1 n and C 1 b, and if you put in the corresponding velocity distribution you will get the velocity distribution in two fluid layers. So, after putting the expression of these constants in the velocity distribution, let us write the final velocity distribution in two different layers. So, in fluid A domain where y varies from minus h a to 0, fluid velocity is u a, which is function of y is equal to 1 by twice mu a minus del p by del x. Okay, this is favorable pressure gradient, that is why I am writing in terms of minus del p by del x, and it will be h a square minus y square plus mu a h b square minus mu b h a square divided by mu b h a plus mu a h b into y plus h a. Okay. Similarly, in fluid B layer where y varies between 0 and h b, we can write the velocity distribution u b, which is function of y, as 1 by twice mu b minus del p by del x into h b square minus y square plus mu a h b square minus mu b h a square divided by mu b h a plus mu a h b into y minus h b. Okay. So, now you can see here what velocity distribution we have found. Now, at the interface obviously the gradient will change, and at the interface the velocity is continuous as well as shear stress is continuous. So, how we will draw the velocity profile? So, here you can see that obviously for this particular case you can see that velocity distribution will look like this. Okay. So, some gradient will be there at the interface. Okay. So, this will be theta a, okay, and at the wall it is 0, and if you draw from in fluid B, so there will be some velocity distribution may be like this, the velocity distribution will look like this, and here you can see the tangent will be this one and this is theta b. So, obviously, it depends on the how the velocity will look like depending on theta a is greater than theta b or theta a is less than theta b. It depends on the viscosity mu a and mu b. So, if mu b is less than mu a, obviously, you may get the velocity distribution like this. Now, let us take a special case where you have the same height of the two layers, that means H A is equal to H B. So, in this particular case, special case where H A is equal to H B is equal to H, then you can write the velocity profile U A is equal to 1 by twice mu A minus del P by del X H square minus Y square plus mu A minus mu B divided by mu A plus mu B H Y plus H, okay, and U B will be 1 by twice mu B minus del P by del X. So, it will be H square minus Y square plus mu A minus mu B divided by mu A plus mu B into H Y minus H. Okay. So, you can see that the velocity distribution is given for equal height of the layers. Now, if mu B is less than mu A, okay, then at the interface shear stress is continuous. So, tau A is equal to tau B. So, mu A du A by dy at y is equal to 0 is equal to mu B du B by dy at y is equal to 0. So, now you can see from here that if mu B is less than mu A, then obviously du B by dy at y is equal to 0 will be greater than du A by dy at y is equal to 0. Okay. So, from here you can see dy by du B at y is equal to 0 will be less than dy by du A at y is equal to 0. So, this is the representation at that interface the gradient. So, that is nothing but tan theta B is less than tan theta A. So, hence theta B is less than theta A. So, obviously, if mu B is less than mu A, velocity distribution will look like this such that at the interface theta B will be less than theta A. Okay. So, now let us find what is the volume flow rate per unit width. So, we know the velocity distribution. So, we can integrate it at a particular cross section and we can find the volume flow rate per unit width. Okay. So, Q by W we can write integral minus H A to 0 U A dy plus integral 0 to H B U B dy. Okay. So, if you put the velocity distribution here U A and U B and if you do the integration and putting the limits, finally you will get minus del P by del X 1 by 3 H A cube by mu A plus H B cube by mu B plus 1 by 4 H A square by mu A minus H B square by mu B into mu b mu a h b square minus mu b h a square divided by mu b h a plus mu a h b. Okay, so, this is the volume flow rate per unit width. Now, if you take as a special case where you have single fluid layer, let us say H A is equal to H, then obviously you will get the volume flow rate same as for the plane Poiseuille flow, okay, where the distance between two parallel plates is H. Okay. So, special case where you have single fluid layer, where we can put H A is equal to 0 and H B is equal to H. Okay. Then you will get single fluid layer and it is representation of plane Poiseuille flow, where y is measured from the bottom plate and x is the axial direction and this is H. Okay. So, if you put H A is equal to 0 here and H B is equal to H, Q by W, it will be minus del P by del X. So, it will be 1 by 3 H cube by mu. So, mu B is equal to mu. Okay. So, mu plus 1 by 4, okay, and it will be minus h square by mu, and here if you put you will get another h. Okay. So, finally, you see you will get after rearrangement h cube by 12 mu minus del P by del X. Okay. So, you can see this is the same expression as you will get for the plane Poiseuille flow, where the distance between two parallel plates is h and it is h cube by 12 mu into minus del P by del X. Now, let us take another example problem. Under the influence of gravity, a viscous liquid flows down a stationary vertical wall, forming thin film of constant thickness h. An upflow of air next to the film exerts an upward constant shear stress tau naught on the surface of the liquid layer. The pressure in the flow is uniform. Derive A, the film velocity u as function of y, and B, the shear stress tau naught that would result in a 0 net volume flow rate in the film. So, here you can see this is the thin liquid film of thickness h and x is in the downward direction, y is measured perpendicular to this vertical plate, and in the air side it is told in the question that it exerts an upward constant shear stress tau naught. So, at the interface the tau naught is acting in the upward direction and gravity obviously is acting in the positive x direction in this case. So, this is g. So, we have to find the velocity distribution inside the film as well as the shear stress tau naught that would result a 0 net volume flow rate in the film. So, you have to find the tau naught value such that at any location in the liquid net volume flow rate will be 0. So, we will start from the ordinary differential equation. You can see in this particular case it is gravity driven flow, there is no imposed pressure gradient, and what are the boundary conditions? At y is equal to 0 it is a stationary plate. So, u is equal to 0, and at the interface you have the shear stress which is actually equal to minus tau naught. Okay. At the fluid layer it will be equal to minus the imposed shear stress from the air side. So, in this particular case it is a balance between the viscous force and the gravity force. So, it will be minus rho g by mu. Okay. So, du by dy you will get minus rho g by mu y plus C1, and u will be just minus rho g y square by twice mu plus C1 y plus C2. At y is equal to 0, these are the boundary condition, at u is equal to 0. So, that will give C2 is equal to 0, and at y is equal to h, okay, the shear stress, okay, in the fluid side will be equal to minus tau naught. So, we can write mu du by dy at y is equal to h is equal to minus tau naught. Okay. So, if you put this then du by dy is this expression. So, you can write mu at y is equal to h. So, minus rho g h by mu plus C1 is equal to minus tau naught. Okay. So, if you find the constant C1, you will get tau a by mu plus rho g h by mu. So, it will be 1 by mu, sorry, this will be minus tau naught. So, it will be tau naught minus tau naught plus rho g h. Okay. So, final velocity distribution, if you put this C1 value here in this expression and C2 as 0. So, you will get velocity distribution as u y is equal to 1 by mu rho g h y minus y square by 2 minus tau naught y. Okay. So, this is the velocity distribution. Now, let us calculate the volume flow rate first, then we will put the volume flow rate at 0 and we will find the value of shear stress tau naught. So, volume flow rate per unit width Q by W we can write as 0 to h u dy. Okay. So, we know the velocity profile. So, if you integrate it, you will get and put the limits, you will get 1 by mu rho g. So, h cube by 2 minus h cube by 6 after integration and putting the limits tau a h square by 2. Okay. So, we know that net volume flow rate is 0. So, we have to find at this condition what is the value of tau naught. Okay. So, that means Q by W is equal to 0. If you put this, then you will get rho g h cube by 3 minus tau naught h square by 2 is equal to 0, and from here the value of tau naught is 2 rho g h by 3. So, you can see for the value of tau naught is equal to 2 rho g h by 3, you will get net volume flow rate is 0. Due to gravity, there is a there will be a viscous force, and that viscous force will be balanced by the shear stress on the wall, okay, and the net volume flow rate will be 0. Now, let us consider the next problem. An oil filled barge has developed a narrow longitudinal crack in its side, which extends a distance w in a direction perpendicular to this plane. Oil leaks out the crack and being less dense than water runs up the side of barge inclined at an angle theta from the vertical in a thin layer of constant thickness h. Upon reaching the air water interface, it flows laterally away from the barge. The oil viscosity is very much greater than that of the water. Calculate the value of volume flow rate Q from the barge. So, you can see this is the oil filled barge. So, there is a crack, and from this crack this oil is flowing inside, and as water is here, it is forming a thin film of thickness h, and this oil is going up and here air is there. So, it is flowing over this water in this direction. Okay. So, this plate you can see it is having this angle theta with the vertical direction. So, we need to find what is the Q or volume flow rate of this oil, okay, and gravity is in this direction. So, we can see we can take the x axis along this direction, okay, and y we can measure perpendicular to this direction. Okay. So, we will have two components of this G. So, one is this direction and another is in this direction. So, obviously, you can see this will be theta and you will get G cos theta in the negative x direction, and in the positive y direction you will get G sin theta. Okay. Now, obviously, from y component momentum equation you can write del p by del y is equal to rho g sin theta. This is the hydrostatic pressure. Okay. From the x momentum equation, you will get left hand side as 0, in the right hand side you will get minus del p by del x minus rho g cos theta, because in the negative x direction rho g cos theta is acting, plus viscous term mu d 2 u by dy square. Okay. Now, if you consider at y is equal to h, okay, at the interface. So, obviously, you can see that you will get water is stationary, and at this you will get del p by del x at y is equal to h, del p by del x is equal to minus rho w g cos theta. Okay. So, we can denote rho a rho o as oil density and rho w oil water, okay, and mu is the oil viscosity. So, from here you can see this we can denote as rho w. So, from here if del p by del x is acting at the interface and it will be imposed inside, okay, because del p by del y is just constant. So, it will be just imposed inside. So, del p by del x will be same inside the oil this inside the thin film. So, obviously, del p by del x value we can put it here as minus rho w g cos theta. So, we can write d 2 u by dy square is equal to minus rho w minus rho naught. Okay. Let us say that mu naught is mu o is oil viscosity. So, you can write divided by mu naught into g cos theta. Okay. So, now this ordinary differential equation you integrate twice, find the velocity distribution inside the thin film, and from there we can calculate the volume flow rate. So, if we integrate twice you will get velocity distribution u y as minus rho w minus rho o divided by twice mu naught g cos theta into y square plus c 1 y plus c 2, and boundary conditions are at y is equal to 0, it is a stationary plate. So, u is equal to 0. So, from here you will get c 2 is equal to 0, and at y is equal to h, okay, you can see here it is written that the oil viscosity is very much greater than that of the water. Okay. So, using that, and at the interface obviously the shear stress du by dy will be 0. Okay. That we have already discussed, okay, earlier. So, du by dy is 0. So, C1 you will get rho w minus rho o divided by mu naught g cos theta into, so it is small h into h. Okay. So, now if you put these constants in this expression, we will get the velocity distribution u y is equal to rho w minus rho o g cos theta by mu naught h minus y by 2 into h y. Okay. So, this is the velocity distribution. Now, the volume flow rate. Okay. Per unit width we can calculate as q by w is equal to integral, so 0 to h u dy. Okay. So, you can see these are constants. So, you can take it outside the integral. So, rho w minus rho o g cos theta by mu o, and if you put the integration, so it will be h y square by 2 minus y cube by 3. Okay. So, and limits 0 to h. So, if you put this, you are going to get rho w minus rho naught into g cos theta divided by mu naught 3 mu naught into h cube. Okay. So, this is the volume flow rate per unit width. Now, let us consider another problem. A viscous oil leaks at a volumetric flow q to the atmosphere through a crack of height h naught onto a horizontal surface, where it continues to flow horizontally, but with diminishing thickness h, which is function of x. The crack width w in the direction normal to the plane of the flow is much greater than h naught. Assuming that the initial thickness of the layer at x equal to 0 is equal to h naught, derive an expression of h x. So, you can see a viscous oil, obviously it is leaking in to the atmosphere through this crack. Okay. And initial height of this liquid is h naught, and y is measured from the bottom, and x is in this axial direction, and obviously the plate is stationary. So, is equal to 0, but the thickness is function of x. Okay, from here. So, you can see if you measure x from here. Okay. So, at x equal to 0, you can put h is equal to h naught. Okay. So, h is measured from this place. Okay. So, at the interface you can see how you can, at any location, how you can see the flow as half of the plane Poiseuille flow. So, if you have a plane Poiseuille flow of height h, then obviously at h by 2 this is the interface, and the shear stress we can put as 0. Okay. So, we have a constant pressure gradient. So, del p by del y, obviously it will be minus rho g. Okay. So, g is acting in this direction. So, del p by del y will be minus rho g, and the pressure, if you integrate it, you will get atmospheric pressure. So, this is your P A, then you will can write P A plus rho g into h minus y. Okay. So, from here you can see that del p by del x, okay, we can write as rho g dh by dx. Okay. So, the velocity distribution in this layer will be the same as that in the lower half of the plane Poiseuille flow in a channel of height 2h, where there is 0 shear stress at the mid distance h above the lower surface. Okay. So, we can write for plane Poiseuille flow, we know the volume flow rate, plane Poiseuille flow, okay, of a channel of height h. Okay. So, we know that q by w is equal to h cube by 12 mu minus del p by del x. So, now this thickness we are considering as half width of the or half thickness of the plane Poiseuille flow. So, obviously, in this case then h will be capital H will be of 2 h, and volume flow rate obviously it is it will be half. Okay. So, for this problem, okay, so for this problem we can write q by w, okay, half of this h will be twice h, okay, twice h cube by 12 mu minus del p by del x. So, half we are writing because we are considering half thickness. So, volume flow rate will be half. So, that is your half, and plane Poiseuille flow of a channel of height capital H, it is h cube, but in this particular case it will be 2 h. So, we are writing 2 h cube by 12 mu. Okay. So, from here now you can express this q by w, okay, in terms of dh by dx. So, del p by del x we know this. So, we can write this as minus rho g h cube divided by 3 mu dh by dx. So, h is function of x, so dh by dx. So, now using this expression you can integrate it, and after putting this boundary condition at x equal to 0, the height is h naught. So, we can find the this height in as function of x. If you rearrange it, so you will get minus h cube dh is equal to 3 mu by rho g q by w into dx. Okay. So, this we have just rearranged and we have written. Now, if you integrate it, okay, minus h cube dh is equal to integral 3 mu by rho g q by w dx. So, in the right hand side you can see this term is constant. Okay. So, 3 mu by rho g q by w. So, this will be constant. So, and we can put the limit as at x equal to 0 we have the height h naught, at any location x we have height small h. Okay. So, if you put these limits and if you integrate it, we will get h naught to the power 4 minus h to the power 4 divided by 4 is equal to 3 mu. So, it will be just x divided by rho g into q by w. So, now if you rearrange it, this we can write h x is equal to h naught into 1 minus 12 mu x by rho g h naught to the power 4 into q by w. So, we have expressed the thickness h, which is function of x in terms of h naught, mu x rho g h naught, and constant volume flow rate q by w. So, in today's lecture we have solved several problems where we used the knowledge of this exact solution of Navier-Stokes equations, which we have already learned in this module. We have seen how the engineering problems can be solved using the knowledge of this viscous fluid flow. You can solve several problems from any viscous fluid flow book which we have already referred in this course. Thank you.